The content that I'm aiming to finish uh, in the initial classes is again the basics of the cloud infrastructure. Again, the term cloud that can be overwhelming, so I'm going to be covering these terminologies as well. What cloud
Okay.
infrastructure is, ServiceNow tool. One thing that we will have to eventually get rid of once you actually get into the ServiceNow zone is, let's not call it as a tool. Service
Okay.
people who are actually working in ServiceNow, they tend to get a little offended, not really, but because considering I myself have 9 years of experience in ServiceNow, so but we don't call it as a tool. Anybody from the outside may call that, hey, you're working on ServiceNow tool. Makes sense, but then for us, it's a platform. It's not just a tool. It's no more a tool. ServiceNow has evolved over a period of time in such a way that it can no longer be called as a tool, but as a platform. And again,
Okay.
why that shift from tool to platform, that's something that we're going to be covering eventually.
Mhm.
Okay. Then ServiceNow instance. When I say instance, that means the platform, the UI, the interface that you're going to be looking at. That's the ServiceNow instance. Versions, like every other applications. Let's say, for example, you're on Instagram. Everyone's on Instagram, but
Yes.
Instagram also has to keep pace with the change in market, right? So every 6 months or 1 year, whatever the contract the company may offer in the market, they come up with new versions. Likewise, ServiceNow comes up with new versions every 6 months to keep up with the changing to keep up with the changing market. So that's where the versions is. Again, in your phone, Android phone or Apple phone, you would see there's a new version introduced. Actually, you get a pop-up on your screen that new version has been introduced. Upgrade to the
Yes.
newest version. That's
Mhm.
what likewise is the case of ServiceNow versions as well. Then
Okay.
impersonation. Impersonation means I am right now wearing a hat of a ServiceNow developer. Okay.
Mhm.
I will have a lot of privileges on the platform, but I want to understand how the end user is viewing the platform that I've developed. So I will impersonate myself as an end user to view how the platform looks like. Let's, for example, say you might have seen, again, I'm trying to draw analogy with the real world scenario. The reason is so that I don't confuse you in just technical terms and you're able to understand from a realistic picture. Okay. Just let me know if in case that doesn't work for you. I will strictly, I will stick to strictly technical terms.
Okay.
So impersonation, again, that means, for example, let's say, let me bring out some more. Okay, let's, for example, say Facebook. Everyone's on Facebook as well. So if you see your page as view as public,
Mhm.
right? You that get that option so that you can see as to
Mhm.
how your profile is looking like to anybody who is not your friend or who is your friend, how your profile looks like to them. Versus if you look your own profile, you are able to see every minute details. It could be a personal information. But to anybody who's your friend or not your friend, how your profile looks like to them, that's what something that you can view. That's when you're
Mhm.
impersonating that user. Likewise, in ServiceNow instance as well, you're impersonating another user to see how he views the platform, what roles, what privileges does he have on the platform. That's what is the term impersonation. Any confusion on the term impersonation? Are
No,
we
ma'am.
clear
So
with the term
Ma'am,
impersonation?
it's all clear, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
yes.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
perfect. Cool. Then we talk about table forms and fields. Again, we're going to jump into the platform. I'll explain what table forms and fields are. This is just like the content that I'm going to be covering. Then the ITSM module. When I say ITSM, that's service management, infrastructure technology, service management. I will explain each of these four different terms: infrastructure, technology, service management separately.
Okay.
Okay. Then the job of a developer, sorry, of an admin, UI policies. That means that's the configuration of every admin or it and definitely a developer that has to go through like a UI policies, building UI policies. What are UI policies? Again, we're going to covering in detail. Then the business rules, those are scripting. These are the scripting sections. Business rules, we're going to be scripting in
Okay.
this. UI actions, client script. Okay. Then comes your user administrator. User
Mhm.
administration is a number of users who are actually using the ServiceNow platform. Like for example, you have your credentials set for your Amazon site, right? Once you, if you're shopping from Amazon, you have your own credentials to log into the Amazon site. Aditya has its own, Shubham has its own, Ashish has its own. These are the three different users on the Amazon user database who are registered with their with their credentials. That's how the user administration is. Likewise, people who are registered, people who are using the ServiceNow platform, we are managing or administering their profile. That's the user administration. Notifications. What notifications are? Notifications are the automated emails that are received from the platform.
Okay.
Again, trying to draw a parallel. For example, once you place an order on Amazon site, you receive an email on your registered email ID that thank you for placing this order. Please track this now. Please use this number for tracking your order. Not actively a person is sitting and actually sending you those emails, right? Those are automated emails that you receive.
Automated
Once
emails.
you right, once your shipment has been let's say once your item has been procured and it's been shipped, then you receive another email. That's again another automated email which is being sent by the system. No one person is actually sitting in that system and seeing, oh, okay, Aditya's order is placed and now it's ready for shipment, let me send him an email. That's not happening. It's an automated email that's happening. Okay. Then import and export data. What do I mean by import and export data? Data that sits in the platform. When I'm importing, that means I'm putting that data in the platform. Importing in the platform, that's importing the data. Exporting means I am taking the data out of the platform. I'm taking the data to out of the platform to assess maybe. Importing data means, for example, it could be user profiles. There are certain data which is not available in the platform, but I want that data to be registered in the platform. That's when I'm going to import the data. Again, when it's going to be used, we're going to be covering that eventually. Okay. Reports and dashboards. What reports and dashboards are? Now the leadership or the top level person in the company, they're not actually interested in how many requests are being logged and what's happening in the platform, who's the developer, who's the admin, how many users are actually there in the platform. They're not really concerned about that. What concerned about is the matrix. Okay. Right. That means if a user actually comes in the platform and logs an incident, how quickly is that incident resolved? How many incidents have been reported in the platform? What incident? Again, what I mean by incident, I will cover that. Let's say how many events have happened in the platform, how many problems have been created in the platform, how many requests have been fulfilled in the platform. Okay, so those are something which a leader or your manager can view using reports and dashboards.
Okay.
The remaining sections like server-side scripting, client-side scripting, server-side classes, client-side classes, script includes service catalog, workflow, and flow designer. These are something which you're going to be covering as a core of a ServiceNow developer. Okay, we're going to be covering that eventually. Okay, any questions in terms of the content that I'm going to be covering before I actually move forward?
Ma'am, I would request you to please click on that got it section on the live captions because we cannot see the whole contents here.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about
Okay.
that. Actually, I was again viewing this on my desktop, so I couldn't see that. Got it.
Okay. Yeah. So now done.
I have a question, ma'am. As you said, we have to import and export data. So the data we are exporting in the platform, who is going to use that? Is it the end user or the same from our company mates or our mates who can use that, who have that login credentials?
Right.
Or the end user is going to use that?
When you're talking about
What kind
importing
of
the data,
platform it is?
sure. When you're talking
Because
about
I have
importing,
nothing. I have nothing. I know nothing about it, so that's why I'm
absolutely,
asking this
that's
dumb
absolutely
question.
okay. That's absolutely okay.
Okay,
Again,
ma'am.
always remember, no question is silly. You're absolutely here to learn, so you can ask anything and everything. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
when I say importing data, so importing is the data that we're entering into the system which can be used by privileged users who have certain roles. If you want, and again, it doesn't have to be only for privileged user, it can even be for end user. Let's for example say uh, we have different monitors or different laptops, let's say different type of laptops available in the market, right? So now we want all of those different laptops available as an option for a user to choose. So when you get onboarded in a new company, you may see a form on the platform. Again, if you're working on ServiceNow, then you may see a form on the platform which says which laptop are you requesting to place order for.
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
so that's the data that we've imported. So how are those entries available in the system? Because we've imported that data, like it could be your HP, it could be Mac, it could be Dell, it could be any other laptop. So that's the data that we imported in the platform, which is now available for viewing for the end users. Okay, that's the import. Export. Why do we export data? Again, good question. We export data so that let's say if anybody else is working, if anyone else is working on any other platform, let's say another platform could be Salesforce. That's another platform in the IT industry. So if they want they do not have access to the ServiceNow instance, but they want to view how the data looks like so that they can make certain changes in their platform, then we export data, then we export that. That means we're taking that data out of the ServiceNow platform. And if you want to share it with anybody else, we are sharing that in the Excel format. It could be Excel, it could be a PDF, it could be a Word document. Okay. Then we are exporting that data to share that data with another person. Again, when you mean sharing, we should always be cognizant of the fact that we are always supposed to take prior permissions before we actually share data to anybody outside of ServiceNow. Right? That's more of like, yeah. So that's what import and export means. And once we do it actually in the platform, you will be better able to understand what exactly I'm talking about, what's importing and exporting is. But just Shubham, if I'm does this make sense? Initial, does it actually sets the
Yes,
question that
ma'am.
you have? Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
ma'am. As we will do it, I will know it better then.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Ma'am,
Because again,
import and export data is also called a transformation.
yes, that's absolutely right. Transform maps, yes.
Okay.
So
And one more thing, if we talk about the impersonations, so impersonation also we can also call the it is used for the troubleshooting also. The admin
absolutely right.
administrator can use the impersonate user to troubleshoot the issue as a end user system, right?
Absolutely. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. For
Okay.
example, there's an issue. Yes, a person is saying, "Hey, I'm not able to see this button on the form. I'm not able to see certain thing on the form." But you're gonna say, "Hey, I can see it on the form. See, this is the screenshot I'm sharing with you. I'm able to see it." Again, the reason it could be you are an administrator. You will have a lot of privileges to see what is available on the platform. But as an end user, they will have restricted access. So you will have to impersonate, you will have to step into their shoes, you will have to impersonate their profile to understand how they are viewing the platform, how they are viewing the form, and why are they not able to see certain things. That's when you call troubleshooting. That's what you call debugging the issue. So you will have to definitely impersonate a user to be able to debug or troubleshoot an issue.
Like I am using WordPress right now. The screen I am using it, like I know what is going in the website when I am developing it, and how it is looking for the when I am sending it to the end user, how it is
Exactly.
looking at the, and that's the other thing. Okay, ma'am.
Exactly right. Yes, exactly
Okay,
right.
okay, okay, ma'am.
Perfect. Keep asking these questions. Trust me, again, it could be silly in your head, but that's going to help all of us. Okay, so keep
Okay,
asking
ma'am.
these
Okay,
questions,
okay,
whatever you have in your mind.
okay, ma'am.
And ma'am, some of these questions are going above my head because I'm
That's
relatively new. Being from the commerce background and being from the sales department, I have zero knowledge of these whole things. So
I
it's
totally
all
get
going
it.
above my head. So I would request you to please go a bit slow for me because it would
Absolutely.
be a bit tough for me to understand things
Absolutely.
initially. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And please, good point, Aditya. So, agar if you think that I'm going a little fast, please pause me then and there.
sure,
Tell
sure.
me कि आप थोड़ा fast जा रहे हो. I want you to go a little slow.
Okay.
Okay? Let's do that, please. Okay?
Okay.
Definitely. And again, if you have little hesitance in terms of, hey, I come from ID background, sorry, I come from non-ID background, trust me, I have a lot of friends of mine who are not from IT background, who are actually from commerce.
Okay.
Okay. Of like a lot of close relatives as well, like 6 or 7 years in the commerce industry as finance person, and they switched into service now and they've been working amazingly from last 1 to 2 years.
Okay.
They're
Uh,
doing commendable.
so, ma'am, is it really possible to is it really possible for someone to grow extra ordinarily in the in this field? तो मतलब कि IT background में being from the non being from the non IT background ये ग्रोथ के लिए कुछ हैम्पर नहीं करता है दैट मींस कि अगर कोई कंपनी में अगर कोई बंदा ज्वाइन कर रहा है व्हाट इफ एंड दे आस्क कि you are from the non IT background but you have switched to the switched here so वहाँ पे ग्रोथ हैम्पर नहीं करता है ना
नहीं, absolutely
आदित्य,
नहीं.
एक्सपीरियंस मैटर करता है इंडस्ट्री में, एक्सपीरियंस कितना है, हैंड्स ऑन एक्सपीरियंस कितना है, वो
Exactly,
मैटर सबसे ज्यादा करता है। आप किस
exactly.
फील्ड से, आपने इवन बीए भी किया हो ना,
No,
बट
I've
आपके
heard
पास
about
एक्सपीरियंस
this a lot because हाँ yes I've heard about this कि यहाँ पे क्या है कि जो आईटी बैकग्राउंड से होते हैं या फिर जो सीएस बैकग्राउंड से होते हैं तो उनको ज्यादा तो बोल सकते
नहीं
हैं कि
नहीं वो
प्रेफरेंस दिया जाता है सो
लेके
दैट्स व्हाई
जैसे कि
आई वाज
जैसे
हेजिटेंट
हमने जैसे
वो
मैंने भी
कंपनी
कोई मेरे पास भी कोई एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है आईटी कंपनी का, पर वो डिपेंड करेगा कि मैं कितने प्रोजेक्ट्स इस पे करूँगा, इस पे सर्विस नाउ में कितने प्रोजेक्ट्स करूँगा, वो प्रोजेक्ट्स पे डिपेंड
कंपनी
करेगा।
से भी डिपेंड करता है कि वो अपने स्टैंडर्ड को मेंटेन करने के लिए कि मिनिमम क्वालिफिकेशन क्या रिक्वायरमेंट रखते हैं, वो डिपेंड करता है। बट ऐसा नहीं है, थाउजेंड्स कंपनी आईटी में और थाउजेंड्स कंपनी सर्विस नाउ आज की डेट में यूज कर रही है, सर्विस नाउ सेल्स फोर्स में। ठीक है, मैं अपनी कंपनी बता रहा हूँ, कोल टेक्नोलॉजी में वर्क कर रहा हूँ, जो यूके लंदन की है। उसमें खुद मेरी कंपनी में बीए जो बंदे हैं वो एज ए डेवलपर काम कर रहे हैं,
अच्छा
नॉन आईटी
ओके
के। तो
ओके
ऐसा नहीं है, वो
Exactly.
एक्सपीरियंस इंटरव्यू के सामने आप कितना अच्छा से परफॉर्म कर पा रहे हो, आप कितना अच्छा हैंड्स ऑन एक्सपीरियंस कॉन्फिडेंटली बोल पा रहे हो, वो उस पर डिपेंड करता है। उसको क्या करना है, उसको काम करवाना है ना, उसको ये थोड़ी
Absolutely.
देख।
yes
Absolutely.
okay thank you Ashish thank you Shubham for this
Absolutely. Both as आप सब लोगों ने collectively you answered it really well. Certain prerequisites, definitely certain industries or certain companies do set a prerequisite that we need this person or we need person to be this qualified to be eligible to apply for ServiceNow jobs. Certain companies do not. They do not care if you come from an IT background, you come from a non-IT background, you have the skills, come and join us and work for us. Okay,
okay
so no hesitance in there. Again, you should be able to actually show your talent and they will take you. Okay,
okay
because again, ServiceNow is again, I'm assuming since you've opted to go for ServiceNow trainings, you already know ServiceNow is a hot cake in the market. They're
yes
actually
absolutely
offering people like anything. People with two, again, I don't want to quote a number, but people with 2 years of experience, they're getting almost double the package they were usually initially hired for. More than double they're getting. And leadership is amused by the package the the market has to offer for ServiceNow developers and admins. Plenty of
okay
jobs in the market, okay? Because now every company, be it small or big, they're using ServiceNow. And why
hmm.
ServiceNow? Again, we're going to be covering that eventually. Okay. When I say eventually, we'll try to cover that today itself. Before I
Okay
hope, okay, we don't run out of time. So let's move forward.
okay
Okay, we're going to be covering this as well. Ashish, I guess you had this question. Now we're going to be covering the integration. So yes, eventually we will be basics of integration, REST and SOAP, introduction to service portal, inbound email actions, events and schedule job, real-time scenarios. For Shubham and Aditya, don't worry about this. This is just, let's say, application that we're going to be eventually covering. You don't have to be like, oh my God, what are these terms? I don't really understand. It's absolutely okay. Once you actually once you actually get skilled in a ServiceNow administrator job, these are going to be just quick things for you to actually absorb. Okay,
okay
perfect. Okay, let's start with the ServiceNow now. My question to all three of you: what is cloud? Again, be
uh,
very naive in answering this question.
so
Hint:
according
be
to
very
me ma'am
naive.
yes so according to me cloud is something which a person uses that means we can call it as a data which is being stored to what we call as ki online or somewhere मतलब बोल सकते हैं कि मतलब I'm not that accurate but I think कि cloud एक part है जहाँ पे there's the information which is being stored
Okay,
so
Shubham.
that's what
There is
I
no
all
requirement of physical, there is no
Hmm.
requirement of physical infrastructure. So all the data can be stored in the cloud
exactly
database.
I'm like we are storing data in Google Drive. We can call it
Yeah.
as a cloud or not.
Sounds good. So do we all agree with Aditya's answer?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Okay, perfect. Many initially I gave you a hint. Be very naive in answering this question. Okay, it's
okay.
perfect. It's again, we are trained in such a way that considering it's a ServiceNow training, you think when I say cloud, that means I say something in IT world. When I say cloud, I mean something which you can see right now out of my window.
Okay.
I'm talking
Okay.
about that cloud. Okay.
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 I'm not talking about IT cloud. मैंने बोला ही नहीं ना कि it's IT cloud or IT infrastructure, cloud computing. I didn't say that term. When I say cloud, cloud means badal,
Yes, yes.
right? Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. So that's the reason why I say that we have to go through an administrator job before actually I can get into the developer shoes. So that I understand the basics, now I'm all ready for the developer position.
Mhm.
Okay, now I'll draw the curtains again, blinds, just so that you can see the screen properly. Okay, one thing that actually I'm in a habit of drawing these parallel with the real world. Please, please, please tell me if in case that doesn't suit you. I will try not to, because if that's confusing you even more instead of
No,
actually helping you. So,
Okay.
okay,
this is making things more clearer.
perfect, perfect. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's what I meant by cloud. Now let's talk about water cycle. Why are we talking about water cycle in when we're having ServiceNow training? We're
I
not
have
having
no.
like a science class, right? Yeah, it's not a science class. But okay, now let's do this again. Uh, how what ServiceNow is actually doing? Let's try to understand this from or what cloud actually in IT world now that Aditya, Shubham, and Ashish you were answering. What cloud actually means in to an IT world is exactly what cloud does in the real life world. Let's, for example, say here that you see, this is India. This part is Australia, could be US, whatever it could be. Okay.
Mhm.
Water is being precipitated from India during a very heat or a very hot day. Cloud absorbs that water, and then those clouds are shifting because we know clouds are not static. They keep moving, right? They keep shifting.
Okay.
So cloud over a period of time, they're shifting from India and they're taking a journey to the US, let's say.
Okay.
And now the water that they've consumed in India is now getting
Poured
precipitated
down
in the
in
form of
the.
water droplets in the US. Amazing, right?
Okay.
हमारे India say they're taking water and then they're actually giving rains to the US. It could be
Yes.
the other
Yes.
way around as well. It could be the other way
Okay.
around. Clouds in the US are actually taking water from their ocean, seas, and then eventually taking that journey to another country, could be India, and then we're getting those those droplets in the cloud in the form of rain in India,
Yes.
right? So this is like an entire cycle. In the similar way, we have cloud computing in IT industry. That means anything which is developed by anybody or anything which is stored, let's say not it doesn't have to be developed, but anything which is stored by any individual from any part of the world. It could be India, the same person or any other person who has the right credentials can access the same data from any part of the world. Example, it could be a Gmail, right? You don't have to be, if you've created your Gmail account in India, that doesn't mean you'll always have to be in India in the same city, sitting in the same home to be able to access your ID. No, that's not true.
Exactly.
Even if you're in the US, even if you're in Australia, you could be in any country, it could be. So whichever country you are in, you have the right credentials, you know what your credentials are, you've given the right permission, you are still able to access your data in your email. That's what cloud computing is. That's the amazing part of cloud computing is,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because again, we know, like for example, like clouds are not static, humans are not static. We keep moving from one place to another. So we want to make sure no matter at which part of the country, in which corner of the country you're sitting, you are still having the liberty to access the same set of data
Mm-hmm.
without having the hassle to actually carry that hard disk, or maybe it could be CD, it could be a pen drive to actually access the same data from a different part of the country.
Yes.
Okay. So that's again trying to draw a parallel so that it makes more sense to understand what cloud computing is. Cloud computing is the ease or the liberty to be able to access the data from any part of the world with provided you have the right credentials, you have the right access.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, perfect. So now we're talking about cloud in the IT industry. cloud is a collection of servers to store data that can be accessed from anywhere. It is not maintained by you and me. It is not maintained by like a certain it's not maintained by let's say a specific person, but it's maintained by a third party. When I say third party, in our world right now, clouds are mostly handled by Amazon. Okay. uh and no direct involvement of the end user. It's I am not responsible for storing my information at a specific server. I may not even know which server is actually storing my information. You may not know your data which is sitting online, where exactly or on which server is that stored, because we're not even cared, we're not even bothered. We are saying that, hey, provided my data is safe, you are keeping my data safe, I'm absolutely okay to store the data on your cloud. Okay. So that's what cloud is. Cloud is a collection of servers. So what do you mean by servers? Servers are, let's say, machines which are actually storing big data. It could be terabytes, megabytes, whatever data uh, all of us have in their servers. They are
Mhm.
storing it, provided again, Ashish doesn't see, he doesn't see Shubham's data. I'm not able to see Aditya's data. Aditya is not able to see my data, right? It is stored in such a secured fashion, in such a secured way that the data is not exchanged between the two people unless you have the right access, unless I am sharing the data with you or you are sharing the data with me. So that's what cloud is. Collection of servers to store the data that can be accessed from anywhere. Does this make sense now? What
Yes.
Yes.
cloud is?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Again, let me know if in case I'm going fast, I'll try to go a little slow. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Like now moving to cloud computing. What are the different types of cloud computing? You might, again, this could be an interview question if you're like applying for like an admin level job. What ServiceNow is? What type of platform is it? Cloud compute in ServiceNow, sorry. So we have these different types of cloud computing. One, software as a service. Second, platform as a service. Third, infrastructure as a service. Now, what are these? SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. SaaS means software as a service.
Okay.
Okay, what software as a service is? Like, for example, you see your Gmail, right? Gmail, or it could be your OneDrive. That's a software which is available to you. That's a software which is available in the market with no liberty to make any customization. That means you don't get the liberty to actually create a new button on OneDrive, right? You don't get a liberty to add like a GIF to your OneDrive account. Only thing that
Mhm.
you can do is you can change the theme. That's the max, right? You can create new folders. You can delete your folders that you have created, but you can't delete the option. You can't remove the option of creating a new folder, the plus icon that you see. So when I say this, let me open my Gmail account, let's say. So this is my account. Can I modify this settings icon? I can't. Can I modify this question icon, the support icon? No, I can't. I see this inbox start. Can I modify these labels and these images that I see against this? No, I can't.
Mhm.
Right? These calendars that I see, I can't modify any one of these things. What I can do, definitely I can create new folders here. I can create new folders, right? Labels, like I can create new labels here. I can create new entry, but can I modify this form, new label, next label, create new, cancel? No, I cannot. That means that's just a software which is available to us in the market. This is called as software as a service.
Okay.
A software which is available to us with no customization. We are consuming it as is. Whatever
Mhm.
is offered, we are consuming as is.
Okay.
Okay, that's your SaaS. Trying to do a very stupid parallel, you might be able to relate it better maybe once you go in a restaurant, maybe, right? So
Mhm.
you're not actually telling the chef, hey, prepare this dish for me in this way. You definitely can, but we don't really do that, right? Because chef already has that skill of creating a dish,
Yes.
preparing a dish, right? So you don't go and tell that person. They're gonna say,
Mhm.
hey, we know this. We are running this restaurant from a long time. You don't have to come and tell us that how do I prepare my food.
Mhm.
So that's what, again, you're being served with the same food. Likewise, you're being served with the same software. You have to use as is. That's the software as a service.
Okay.
Nothing bad at all. It's good as well. Like
Mhm.
for example, you see Adobe platform, right?
Yes.
Adobe. So I can do a lot of things here. I can tools, I can here combine files, create files, organize files, but I can't add my new feature. If in case, let's say I want to create like Pooja's new file, I can't do that. I can't create an option here. This is just a
Okay.
software which is available for me for consumption. That is it. That is
Okay.
SaaS.
Mhm.
Moving to next, which is PaaS, platform as a service. Now understand, ServiceNow is PaaS based. You might read it online that ServiceNow was earlier SaaS, now it has moved to PaaS, or people may say ServiceNow is a combination of SaaS and PaaS, but ServiceNow is now a PaaS. Why
Okay.
PaaS? ServiceNow is a platform based service. My slide is visible, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Why is it PaaS? Because ServiceNow actually gives you the liberty to create your own new features, to create your whatever requirement that you have from a business, you or the requirement that you may have in the platform. They're giving you like a very basic version of the platform, and then based on the firm requirement, the company's requirement, the business needs, you're actually developing on that platform.
Mhm.
Okay, that is PaaS. Like again, trying to draw a parallel, you get the ingredients from the grocery. You don't actually grow bananas. Don't grow. You may, definitely you may. You can, not that you cannot, but you we at least in the routine household, we don't grow bananas in our backyard, right? We don't grow these vegetables in the backyard. We actually get it from the grocery store. We bring it in the kitchen. We actually prepare food. And
Mhm.
again, just because it's banana, that doesn't mean you have to actually consume it as is. You can prepare vegetable. You can prepare some with tomatoes. You can prepare any different types of vegetables. So that's on you. That's on your family's need that you're preparing whatever vegetable that you need. Again, in a similar way in IT world, pass means anything that you are allowed to make changes to.
Okay.
It's a platform. They're providing you the platform. Now you go ahead and make changes based on your business requirement.
Okay.
They've
So
given you basics.
ServiceNow works on this platform, right?
Yes, it works on this logic pass. Yes, that's a
Okay.
platform. Yes,
Logic. Okay.
yes, yeah. It's a pass based. Okay, that means
Ma'am,
they're
can you
providing you
give
the platform.
any can you give any other example which
Sure.
we know here from this past service,
Okay,
like so that we
Salesforce.
can relate?
I'm not sure if you're aware of Salesforce.
No.
No. Okay. Let me see. Do I have some examples listed? Yes, Salesforce, SCM. These are pass based. So we
SQL
will have
also,
to
Oracle SQL.
Oracle. Yes, you can make development right in Oracle.
Okay,
Oracle
ma'am.
SQL is also cloud-based CRM tool.
Yes. So again, I know it could be again, it could be in the real world. You may not be able to relate with any other platform because okay, what platforms you have worked on? We can probably talk about that and see if those are pass.
I have not worked on many,
Okay,
but I have worked on just WordPress. I can say WordPress and all these social platforms, and that's it. I'm nothing
got it, got it.
more.
WordPress, I'm assuming, is more as a software as a service, right?
WordPress. No, ma'am. We can make changes in it.
You can.
We can prepare the whole website by ourselves.
Perfect. Then that's a platform as a service, right?
Means we are provided with some things, and we can change all the things on this website.
Perfect. Then that's a platform as a service. That's
Okay,
you're
ma'am.
already working on a pass-based platform, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Platform as a service. Anything that you
मैम
can
इसको अगर
customize.
ऑल लेमन लैंग्वेज में अगर बोले तो कोई भी एक एप्लीकेशन जो वेब बेस्ड हो, ओके, क्लाउड बेस्ड हो, वो एप्लीकेशन जो है वो एज ए पैस का लॉजिक पे काम करेगा, राइट?
Yes,
मीन्स
yes.
उसके लिए कोई भी एप्लीकेशन ऐसा नहीं इंस्टॉल करवाना हो अपने सिस्टम पे, और जस्ट
Exactly.
आपके पास एक लिंक हो, ओके, यूआरएल हो, उसको आप अपना क्रोम पे या कहीं भी ब्राउजर पे डालें और जस्ट लॉग इन क्रेडेंशियल्स अपना वो मांगे।
Absolutely right. Absolutely
वो
right.
पैस लॉजिक पे काम करते हैं, वो सारी एप्लीकेशन जो होती है वो सब क्लाउड
Absolutely.
बेस्ड एप्लीकेशन होती है।
No, I didn't get it.
मैं बताती हूँ. So what he means to say is कि for example Adobe जैसे यहाँ पे था, this platform that you can see right now, Adobe. This
Mhm.
is installed in my system, so I'm able to access,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
Uh, Likewise, मेरे पास ये जो मेरी Gmail है, this is installed right now, so I can see my all my emails. ठीक है, तो this is just something which is available to me uh through a hard disk, through a mean, through a source. It is available. ठीक है, but platform as a service is you just need that URL. आपको सिर्फ एक URL चाहिए, जैसे ServiceNow का एक URL, जैसे we're going to be discussing how do I actually procure the ServiceNow instance. You just need that URL. You have the right credentials. You're accessing that platform, and then you're making changes.
Okay.
मीन्स
Yeah,
उसके लिए कोई सॉफ्टवेयर इंस्टॉल करने की आपको
कोई
जरूरत नहीं,
software
जैसे आप लेट
exactly.
सपोज आप जावा सीखोगे, ओके, जावा के लिए आपको कोई जावा सॉफ्टवेयर इंस्टॉल करने की जरूरत रहेगी, बट इसके लिए सर्विस नाउ के लिए नहीं है। सर्विस नाउ का जस्ट यूआरएल है, उसको क्रोम पे या ब्राउजर पे डालो और अपना वो हो
अच्छा,
जाएगा, लॉगिन हो
ओके
जाएगा।
ओके 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 ओके,
ओके, तो
थैंक
इसलिए
यू।
वो उसको हम क्लाउड बेस्ड हम एप्लीकेशन बोलते हैं या प्लेटफॉर्म बोलते हैं इसलिए।
ओके ओके
तो
ओके ओके,
इसके
थैंक यू।
इससे क्या होगा, ये बहुत इजी इसलिए होगा, लेट्स सपोज आज अपने सिस्टम पे आप काम कर रहे हो, ओके, कल को आप अपने फ्रेंड के घर पे हो, ओके, आपकी क्लास है, आपको कोई काम करना है, तो आप अपने फ्रेंड के लैपटॉप पे भी लॉगिन कर सकते हो, आपके पास यूआरएल होगा
एग्जैक्टली, ओके ओके,
क्रेडेंशियल
ठीक
से,
है।
है ना। ऐसा नहीं रहेगा कि आपके सिस्टम पे इंस्टॉल है बट उसके पे नहीं है, नहीं ऐसा नहीं है, राइट मैम।
Yes, that's absolutely right. Absolutely
ओके
right.
ओके, थैंक यू आशीष।
Okay, perfect. See, this is how our class is going to be very communicative.
यस,
Let's answer each other's questions. Okay?
मतलब छोटे छोटे कॉन्सेप्ट्स को क्लियर करके चलेंगे सब, जिससे सारे सब
Yes,
एक पेज पे
एग्जैक्टली,
रहे।
exactly.
या
Absolutely right. And these are again has to be clear, because once you step into ServiceNow, you're going to be like, oh my God, okay, I know that ServiceNow is PaaS, but why is it PaaS? A lot of people who are actually working in ServiceNow may not even know why do we call it as PaaS. Okay, so let's clear the basics and then we will jump into the platform. Cool. Ashish हमारा silent student है, but then he's really good in terms of answering questions. Good.
या,
Cool. Okay, let's
so he's
talk about
dropping bombs, मतलब बीच बीच
yes.
में, तो
Yeah.
He is the one who has to carry us forward.
Yes.
no, these two
Because
are the ones who
He
जो
has
लोग
to carry us
बोल
forward.
सकते हैं कि हम लोग कैरी करेंगे। यस एग्जैक्टली।
yes, yes, absolutely.
या
Because
क्या पूजा है?
Ashish is in your side as well. He's in my side as well. Ashish
Yeah.
ने भी देखा है कि if I don't have ServiceNow knowledge, what questions will I have? And he knows that if I have partial ServiceNow knowledge, how will I address those questions? So which is great.
एग्जैक्टली।
So he's helping both of us. Good. Okay. Now let's talk about infrastructure as a service. So what's infrastructure as a service? So when I talk about like these clouds which are available, these servers which are available, okay, these servers that I'm talking about earlier, you know what, like a lot of companies, almost every company actually had to create their facilities, okay, to store their data, servers. That's called as facility management. Like this facilities had to be created, infrastructure was required. Infrastructure means that like rooms, AC, engines, machine generators, all of those different things were required to actually maintain their servers. That's when infrastructure is required for a certain service to be delivered. Okay. Let me show you an example. यहाँ पे ना, let me Google and show you this. Oh, sorry. Server rooms company. Let me just touch पे here. See, ये होते हैं मेरे servers. These are my server rooms. ठीक है? These are my different server rooms. This is where all of this information, you can see these as machines, but these machines are actually storing your data.
ओके
That means इतना बड़ा inventory चाहिए. We need a lot of space to actually store all of these servers, and these servers need a lot of other facilities as well, like the light, of course. A 24/7 electricity supply is required. ACs are required so that because there's a lot of heat generated out of these servers, so ACs are required, right? Then you need these security logs. Then you need somebody to manage these facilities. So these are infrastructure as services. Okay. Now, because not every company wants to invest in their infrastructure, in maintaining all of these servers. That's the reason why Azure, Amazon, these uh let's say these games have come out in the market.
Okay, so it's not everybody's cup of tea, right?
Exactly
To
right. Yes, to maintain all
Okay.
of this, because again, reason is it takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of efforts, it takes a lot of planning and maintenance to actually maintain or create these server rooms. So
Okay,
nobody
okay.
wants to invest a lot of time in. I Not every company doesn't wants to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
what they do is they outsource, and almost all the companies, they've outsourced their server rooms to Amazon. Amazon says, hey, we have the right infrastructure, we have the right skills, we have the right machinery, we have the right inventory to store all your information. You can
Okay.
outsource this to us. We're gonna be charging whatever like the vendor cost is, but you're free from all of this headache of actually creating your own inventory, having your own infrastructure, then providing
Okay.
machinery, then doing all of this.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that is called as infrastructure as service. These are infrastructures which are provided as a services.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Moving on to the next thing. Now let's talk about ServiceNow.
Mm.
ServiceNow is a cloud computing company. We have established that truth by now. We all agree it's a cloud-based.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was founded in 2004 by Fred Luddy. He was the CTO of a remedy of company named Remedy earlier. If like Ashish may know, maybe ServiceNow se
PMC
pehle
remedy.
there was, yes, BMC Remedy, right? So there was a previous platform which is BMC Remedy, which is no longer being used because वो obsolete हो गया. It doesn't have a lot of features to offer. Okay.
Okay.
So it did not have the capability to actually adopt to the rapidly changing market. So ServiceNow came in picture. Okay. Like for example, Orkut. Orkut pehle tha. Orkut people actually were, I'm not sure if you guys are in the same generation where we actually used Orkut at some time.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
So,
I have.
right, people
Yeah,
were
I
using
was.
Orkut. Then they moved to Facebook. Facebook is also turning out to be a little obsolete now. People are more on Instagram now.
Yeah, more inclined towards the Instagram. Yes,
Correct?
yes.
Yes, exactly. Just because Instagram is able to meet their whatever data that they
Uh,
want to view, right? The
Yes,
mm-hmm.
and
content that
more
they want to
more
view.
trending features.
Exactly, exactly. So ServiceNow is right now, let's say, not just right now, but at least for last 10 years, I can say, and hopefully for another 10, 20 years, ServiceNow is going to be the absolutely hot cake in the market because ServiceNow is so rapidly evolving with the changing market. They're keeping up with the pace. They're introducing so many new things that at least the leaders in the market or the and in people who have the right vision, they are saying that we don't see any competitive platform in the market which can actually compete or can make ServiceNow obsolete. Definitely, there are small other platforms as well. If in case because ServiceNow is an expensive brand to consume by any company. So there are small scale platforms as well which are available, but nothing in comparison to ServiceNow. Again, I'm not selling ServiceNow to you guys. I am not a ServiceNow salesperson, but I'm telling you because that's the reality.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Now, ServiceNow is a cloud-based platform for ITSM. That means IT service management. IT means infrastructure technology. For every company has its own IT. It could be like a finance company, but they will need their IT. It could be an advertising company, but they will need ID. It could be your Bollywood as well, Bollywood, Hollywood, whatever it could be, but they need their IT. Why do they need their IT? For everything, like let's for example say to manage their networks, to manage their advertisements, all of these things has to happen through IT, right? It has to happen. If their IT isn't working, then how will they spread the information? How will we advertise their information across the globe?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, every company has to have their own IT. So, and when they have their IT, they most essentially need ServiceNow. Why do they need ServiceNow? Let's talk about that as well. So we are saying ServiceNow is a cloud-based software platform for ITSM, which helps to automate their business management. When I say business management, what do I mean by business management? So, okay, let's do this. All of us are working, right? So we get salary at the end of the month. We think that, hey, this time the salary that was credited in my account, there's some glitch. I haven't received the full amount. The tax was either too high, or probably there's a new factor that you see added in your slip, salary slip, or there's something that you see not right in your salary slip. What do you do next? Whom do you reach out to?
We firstly reach out to the HR.
Right? You
Firstly,
reach out to HR. How do you reach out to the HR now?
through directly or via mail,
Okay,
whatever source we have. Yeah.
good. So you reach out directly. If you reach out directly, are we sure that if the HR is sitting in Bangalore while you're working from, let's say, Mumbai, so do you think you're going to be able to meet that person? Are you going to fly or book?
No.
We can't book a ticket to Bangalore to meet the HR, right? If I'm sitting in
No.
Delhi, I can't actually fly to Bangalore to meet the HR just to fix my salary slip because I may be
Exactly.
getting like 1,000 rupees extra, but the money that I'm spending in my flight, that's just a waste,
Yeah.
right?
So,
So that may not be possible. But definitely, that's something that we did in earlier times. Walk up to your HR if in case they're sitting close by. And what if the HR is not coming today? What if the HR is working from home today? What if the HR has a different time? You might be working from 2 to, let's say, 6, 2 in the afternoon to 6 in the evening. Again, a very odd time. It just doesn't happen to work for 4 hours, but just an example. Now, while the HR is working from 7 in the morning till 1 p.m., that means you will never get an opportunity to actually go and meet that HR.
yes,
Next,
exactly.
right? Next, email. We can definitely send an email, but do we actually get like information that the email has been read, and can we force the HR to actually reply to our email? We may not ever
No,
even hear from the HR, right? Because
exactly.
they're flooded with so many emails that they may not even respond to our emails.
Mhm.
Okay, so now what to do next? Now ServiceNow helps us here. What ServiceNow does is you don't have to walk up to HR, you don't have to write an email to HR. Let's have everything registered. Like people say, right? If you have the proof, you can hold the next person accountable. If you're coming
Okay.
and telling me, Pooja, I registered in this uh training, it could be academy, and I'm supposed to get this training, you have that registration slip, right? So you can hold me accountable that Pooja, you're supposed to give me training. Otherwise, there's no proof that you're supposed to be taking trainings from me. Likewise, there's
Mhm.
no proof, right? There's not no accountability. So ServiceNow comes in picture. Now, what you can do is ServiceNow has a form where you can submit your complaint. You can submit your request that
Okay.
this is what was expected. This is the salary that I was expecting versus this is the salary what I'm getting. Now, the HR person is bound to reply to that ticket because that's on his name, that's on his or her name. It could be their group or it could be directly his or her name. So
Okay.
now that the leadership, everybody in the company will, not everybody, but at least their team leaders will have the visibility to that ticket. So you can always say, 1 month ago, you know what? 1 month ago, I raised a ticket in the platform and I haven't heard back from you. You have like a
Mhm.
documented form that you filled out, which is actually sitting in their table, which is sitting in, when I say table, that means on their desktop, on their laptop, that's sitting there for them to actually address. Now, how can we ensure that it is addressed within the timeline? There are SLAs. What is SLAs? Service level agreements. What are service level agreements? Service level agreements means a time that you actually, or specific team is responsible for to meet.
Okay.
Okay, that means an HR person, like for example, say, okay, I'll draw with HR only. I won't really go to the medicals again. But let's talk about HR is expected to reply to a ticket, to apply to, sorry, to response to a ticket or a record, a request that is created in their queue within 3 business days. If they don't do that, that means they're breaching their contract for which they're going to be penalized. They will have to pay money for it.
It's such, so that's a code of conduct, to be honest. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And when I say code of conduct, good point. You said code of conduct. Code of conduct in ServiceNow is ITIL.
Okay.
Okay. But good thing. So in 3 business days from the time when Shubham has registered or filled out a form in the platform, in ServiceNow platform, for a discrepancy in the salary that is being credited in his account. Now the HR person is bind to reply or to resolve that issue within 3 business days. Else
Okay.
the HR person is going to be held responsible and they're going to be
Yeah.
penalized for breaching their timeline.
Okay.
When I say breaching their timeline, please try to quote it in ServiceNow and try to understand the ServiceNow terminology, which is SLA. Timeline, when they are bind to meet, or when they are bind to resolve or fix an issue within the timeline, that's the service level agreement that we call it in ServiceNow world.
So is it only the HR part, or is
Anybody,
it okay? Okay. So anybody will
anybody.
be held responsible,
Yes,
right? मतलब उनको एक particular एक time period दिया जाएगा to do their tasks,
yes,
and what if the task is not completed at that time? So they'll be held uh, that accountable, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. Okay,
Like we are
right.
providing a platform to the end user, and if the end user have any issue with that, he will inform us, and uh, we have to solve that issue
Resolve
in
within the time.
3 business days,
Exactly,
and that's
exactly. That's
ITIL guideline.
yes, that's
Okay. So
exactly
is
the
it
next thing I was saying.
3 business days? मतलब कि
नहीं,
3 दिन?
standard नहीं
uh,
है, नहीं नहीं. 3 business days,
Okay.
we're
Okay.
just taking a reference. Again, it
Means
Okay.
depends.
there are different guidelines for different.
Okay.
Yes,
Companies. Okay.
yes,
Yes.
yes, exactly, exactly. So इसमें क्या है कि it doesn't have to be 3 business days. It doesn't have to be X number of days. But once you sign a contract, okay, so
Mm-hmm.
while signing a contract, so let's for example say there are n number of 2 different companies who are actually providing the same services to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's for example say it's again trying to draw a parallel that will come into the technology world. Pooja and there's another trainer, XYZ trainer. Pooja is saying that I will be able to deliver or I will be able to resolve, not deliver. I'll be able to provide training to you and finish this ITSM training with proper knowledge, with proper information provided to you in 1 month of time. While there's another person who's offering the same services to you, who is also providing the same knowledge, same set of information. But he says, I'll be able to complete the training within 15 days. Whom will you pick? Pooja or that XYZ? Will pick that XYZ person, XYZ trainer,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Because he's providing you the same information, same set of skills, same set of knowledge that he has, but he's providing in a very
Over a
uh,
short period of
shorter
time.
period of time. Exactly. So that's how the people actually also pick. But there are certain people who might say, I might say that, hey, you know what? I'm going to be providing this detailed service now training over a month's time. But next person is saying, hey, I'm going to be covering the basics in 15 days. I'm going to be covering just the basics so you'll understand how the service now operates, but I'm going to be saying that I'm going to provide all the details. So now it's a question for you that you want detailed services versus you want like a quick overview. Over 15 days, quick overview, or do you want a detailed service over 30 days? Now you will assess what's my priority. Do I want to get trained in service now quickly and just start working, or do I want to get absolute knowledge of the platform before I can actually start working on it? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how even the companies pick. So if there are different vendors, how do we get this estimated delivery time when we place an order on Amazon? We are saying that this will be delivered within 5 days or whatever date they mention, because the vendors who are offering those products on Amazon site, they are saying, hey, you know what? Let the users place order on your site. I will deliver this order within 5 business days. I guarantee you. There could be other vendors as well who are going to be delivering in 10 business days. It could be the same product. So now you're going to place order for from somebody who is going to deliver within 5 days. You may place order for somebody who's delivering in 10 days, but with a lesser amount, because you might think, hey, in next 5 days, I may not be at home. So in next 10 days, I'm going to be back home by then. So let me place order from this another guy, provided, and also he's giving me cheap or lesser amount I have to pay for this product.
Okay.
Okay. So likewise, these are SLAs. So every different team agrees to resolve or provide services, fulfill the services within a stipulated time. Okay. So that's what
Okay.
these SLAs are. So now we are saying it helps you to automate. Now you don't have to actually email somebody. You don't have to walk up to somebody. You can just register a request or a incident in the platform, and that will be handled by the business team.
Okay,
And
got it.
it's based on ITIL guidelines, means uh, trying to draw another parallel. Let's say Bible, right? Christians have their Bible. So now they have their Bible. So they have their Bible, which is something which they practice and preach to practice their religion.
Mhm.
Likewise, ITIL is like a Bible. Sorry, it's like a Bible. It's not something that you have to follow, but it's something that is recommended. It's best practice. Always remember,
Okay.
ITIL is not something which is enforced on you to follow, but it is something which is like a standard or a best practices to follow in an IT world, to sustain in an
Okay.
IT world. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
ITIL suggests that you work with different vendors, you create an incident, but let's ensure let's have an SLA so that the team is actually abiding by the timeline to deliver those services. But non-ITIL services may say, hey, let's register a request or a ticket and service. Now let them sit and let them work whenever they want. But that's not going to meet the requirement, right?
Mhm.
ITIL suggests let's have SLAs to meet or to deliver a requirement within a stipulated time. So that's what ITIL is. ITIL guides you with a set of best practices to be followed in an ITSM or in an IT industry. Now you
Okay.
understand what ITIL is?
Yes.
If I'm coding this right, ITIL full form is Infrastructure Technology Information Library. Okay.
Please pardon, ma'am.
ITIL, the full form of ITIL is Infrastructure Technology Information Library. Let's see if I'm saying that correct. ITIL full form. Perfect, yeah.
Information
Sorry,
technology
information
infrastructure.
technology. Sorry, information
Information
technology,
technology.
infrastructure library. Yeah.
मैम सर्विस नाउ को आईटीएसएम प्लेटफॉर्म ही क्यों कहते हैं? मतलब मींस कोई और प्लेटफॉर्म क्यों नहीं कहते हैं?
ये बहुत
लाइक
गलत चीज है
सीआरएम
जो
प्लेट
कहते हैं. ये बहुत गलत चीज है जो कहते हैं लोग. That's not a good thing actually. But yes, people call it because ServiceNow बोलते हैं ना कि ServiceNow is the master in ITSM. There's no competing platform. There's no competing platform in the market who can actually compete with ServiceNow and ITSM. What is ITSM? मतलब change request ये सब चीजें handle करना, change request problems handle करना. That's why it is called as ITSM, ServiceNow ITSM. But not that ServiceNow is
these
restricted
are
to
the
ITSM,
modules,
no? Huh?
yeah, these are the modules of ITL na incident problem
Yes,
change.
exactly. These are the different modules. Yes, we're going to be talking about that as well. But to answer your question, this is the only
बट
reason why. Uh-huh.
एक बार इंटरव्यू में मेरे से क्वेश्चन पूछा था कि सर्विस नाउ को हम आईटीएसएम ही प्लेटफॉर्म क्यों कहते हैं, सीआरएम प्लेटफॉर्म क्यों नहीं कहते? बस
Uh,
टिकटिंग टू, अगर टिकटिंग की बात करते हैं तो टिकटिंग तो सीआरएम एप्लीकेशन जो है सीपल ओरेकल उसमें भी कर सकते हैं. ओके, नोटिफिकेशन सेंड करना एवरीथिंग वहाँ पे भी कर सकते हैं. वहाँ पे भी जावा यूज होती है, देन यहाँ पे भी जावा स्क्रिप्ट यूज होती है. तो मतलब
right.
हमने ऐसे क्यों है, डिफरेंशिएट क्यों किया हुआ है? इंटरव्यू
See,
में ऐसे क्वेश्चन पूछा था इसलिए मैंने कहा आपसे
that's very
पूछ लेता हूँ.
surprising. That's yeah, yeah, of course, absolutely. That's very surprising. The interviewer was very sort of smart in terms of answering a questioning this to you, because it's not that IT ServiceNow is ITSM. ServiceNow has a lot of other services as well to offer, but ServiceNow is a master of delivering ITSM, of offering you ITSM. Okay, let's for example say you go to an Indian restaurant. Okay, वहाँ पे you're gonna get Indian services, you're gonna get Indian food, but not that if you ask for noodles, they're not gonna give you. Noodles is not like an Indian meal, right? You're gonna
Mhm.
ask for dim sums, not that you're not gonna get it. You will get it. But why is it called as Indian restaurant? Because that has core Indian meals to offer.
Authentic Indian dishes they have. Yes.
Exactly. Yes. Likewise, ServiceNow is the master of ITSM. There's no competing platform in the market for ITSM. But
Okay.
ServiceNow is eventually ServiceNow is actually evolving in such a way that it has all of these ITSM, HR, customer service management, legal management, all of these different things that iServiceNow has to offer under one single roof.
Okay.
Okay, now next thing.
बेसिकली सर्विस नाउ जब आया था तो उसने मतलब ITSM उस पे मॉड्यूल्स पे काम करना स्टार्ट किया था, तभी से इसका नाम
Basic.
ऐसे हुआ,
Right,
राइट?
exactly. Because Hanji, because starting with started with ITSM. But again, I'm telling you, it started with ITSM, but it's not restricted to ITSM.
हाँ,
Okay?
वो अब आगे काफी
Yes.
इनहांस हो गया है,
Hanji,
काफी
exactly.
अदर एरियाज भी पहुंच चुका है, HR में भी
Absolutely.
पहुंच चुका है बिजनेस। ओके,
Absolutely. Absolutely. It started with ITSM, it started at a low scale, but then it has
आज
now
के
all
डेट
of
में
these
बहुत
different layers.
हो चुका है सर्विस।
Yes, yes. Absolutely. Okay. Another great thing for all of us, which is coming in ServiceNow, is low configuration requirement. That means uh, now the need of actually having knowledge of scripting is sort of now reducing. Earlier, there were a lot of scripting required to develop a feature. Now, ServiceNow, what it's doing is that you just please understand the platform, you understand how the platform operates, and with low code, you should be able to design your ServiceNow platform. With basic or minimal scripting knowledge, you will be able to develop, you will be able to create configurations, develop configurations in the platform based on the business need, which is sort
Okay.
of good for us. And that too, because we want to stand out, right? We want to be the person who cannot be replaced. So anything, yeah, it's not replacing us, but it is asking you that if a non-IT person, Aditya, you had that concern, I'm a non-IT person. Don't worry.
Yes.
ServiceNow is your savior. ServiceNow is not asking you to have a lot of scripting knowledge, have a lot of JavaScript in detail, core
Okay.
Java knowledge. No, they're not. You have the basic Java knowledge. You can write basic scripting. You're good enough to actually work in the platform.
I don't even have that.
It's
So
okay. That's what you're here for, right? You're here for that.
yes, yes, exactly.
Exactly. You've taken the first step, and it's the right, step in the right direction. Let me
Hmm.
help you to develop that skill.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Cool. Next is procuring ServiceNow instance. How do I procure ServiceNow? These instances, ServiceNow is so amazing. It's so nice. They're actually giving you these ServiceNow instances are free. That means you play with your instance. You do whatever you want with your instance. Okay. And
That
they're gonna,
means we can practice here, right?
yes,
Am I right?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. You can practice. You
Okay.
can
So it's a
practice
free
and mention.
platform where we can practice our learnings here. Okay. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. And now that we've come to the slide, starting on from here, I would expect everything that we do in the training sessions, you're going to practice. Definitely, I'm going to give you assignments that you're going to practice. So you're going to make sure that you actually practice whatever we learn in the classes. And you have any questions, let's address those questions in the next class.
Sure.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool. Let me show you now how do I create or how do I procure a ServiceNow instance. This is something that we're going to be doing after this training, or you can do it parallelly as well. Absolutely up to you. So I'm going to paste this link in the chat as well. I paste it here in the chat. Okay, this is the link. Let's open this. So this is the page that you're going to be redirected to. Since we're logging here for the first time, so we're going to use sign up and start building. You might
Okay.
want to, if you're of interest,
So
please
can we
go through
access
this.
this through our mobile phones, or is
You
it
can
accessible, or is
you
it
can through mobile.
accessible? Okay.
You
Okay.
can access through mobile as well, but I would recommend through your Chrome, through your browser. The reason is the mobile version is different. In mobile version, you will not be able to see the developer interface of the platform,
Okay. Okay. No
because
issues.
the mobile version of the ServiceNow platform is very different. It just gives you an an interface to see what requests are created, how many incidents are created, what are your assignments, all of those things. That's it. It doesn't
Mhm.
actually go and let you code in the backend.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's start this. So here is the option which says sign up and start
So this
building.
is
So
the page, right? So this
yes,
is the page. Okay. 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 Okay.
Okay. I'll go again. I've sent the link here in the chat. This link is gonna route you here. It's gonna redirect you to this page. You're gonna click on sign up and start building.
Okay,
Type in
so
your
this is
first
the
name.
starting page of the ServiceNow platform.
No, of you to procure a ServiceNow platform. You're
Okay,
procuring a ServiceNow. It's not the starting
okay,
page of ServiceNow platform.
okay.
Okay. Here we are first requesting to get our own ServiceNow platform. Let's say,
Sign up for a ServiceNow ID.
yes, ServiceNow training. I'm assuming this might already be taken, but let's see. Okay. What's my email ID? Okay. Country, we're going to select India. Password, this is like a password, whatever you want.
The first and last
To
name you have written the ServiceNow training. So we have to
Yeah,
write
yeah.
our
You have
name
to write
or
your name. You have to write your
oh,
name.
okay. So that was a silly
Because
question. I'm very sorry,
no,
but
that's absolutely okay. That's
I'm just
absolutely
learning,
fine.
so that's why I'm just yeah.
That's
Okay.
absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Since I already have like a account requested from my own email ID, so that's the reason I'm using this new email ID to actually sign up.
Okay.
Because if I'm going to use my own email ID, it's going to say an account already exists with this email.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's type in your password, whatever it could be. I'm doing. Okay. Again, reconfirm your passwords. Three. I guess I did not enter it right. Let's see. Oh, wow. I wanted to do it other way. Caps was on. Let's do this. Okay. Of course, I'm not a robot. Bridges. Let's see. Bridge. This is a bridge. I'm assuming this is not a bridge. Let's see. Okay. I have read and sign up. So, okay. Login. Oh, record creation field. Probably this was already taken, maybe. Get access to content is next. Let's see if I can log in. I don't think so because I haven't received like a confirmation email here. This app requires, please click below for an email verification. Okay, now an email verification has been sent on my email ID. Oh, I'm looking at this. Hmm. It's the record creation field. I'm not sure if I'm going to be receiving an email ID. Okay, I received an email. Now I'm going to be verifying. Again, this is nothing. This is just that these are the steps to procure a ServiceNow instance. We are not in ServiceNow right now.
Okay.
Okay. Now it's asking me your instance is active. Sorry, your account is active. Account is active. Now log in. So now let's log in. This is my email ID. What's my password? Okay, now I am in the platform. No, sorry, I'm not
Okay.
in the platform. I am at a place where I have to request for ServiceNow. This is not the platform. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, when it says hello ServiceNow, that's your first name. Help us tune your experience because now they want to understand, do you already have experience, whatever it is? Do you code? Or do you just want to understand what ServiceNow is like? For example, for a salesperson, who is not interested what's happening in the background. He just he wants to sell ServiceNow. Then he's going to say, I just need a guided experience. But then if you want to understand the configuration, the admin job, the developer part, then we're going to click on yes, I need developer oriented ID. So
Okay.
click on this. Then next, what best describes your job responsibilities? Let's select developer and IT admin. It could be designer. Maybe select everything. That's okay. I've read and understood. Finish setup. Okay. Now, this is your page where you have to request your ServiceNow instance. This is always keep this URL as active. The reason is because that gives you a lot of references and guide. So it gives you references for scripting,
Okay.
APIs, the product documentation, the reference overviews. Okay. These are different guides which are available. Developer program guide, developer glossary, then this your new platform guides. Now you want to request your personal instance. See, when you say personal instance, the personal instance, when you will talk to other ServiceNow professionals, they're going to say PDI. Do you have a PDI? What's PDI? Your personal developer instance.
Okay.
Yeah, that's PDI. So you're going to click here on the top called request instance. Now these are the three. Oh wow. See, ServiceNow is so busy that none of these instances are available right now. So keep checking if you can find like an instance. Right now, so many instances have already been acquired by a lot of other folks. So you can just click on any of these instances. Utaha is the latest version
Uta.
of the ServiceNow instance. Tokyo was the previous one, and San Diego was one earlier. So we're going to be talking about the versions as well. We've already passed time, so we're going to discuss that in the next class. These are the different versions of ServiceNow which we're going to be covering. This is again just from an interview standpoint. So because they might ask you that on which ServiceNow platform, on which ServiceNow version did you start working? Do you know
So
the
why is
previous
it
versions of
necessary
ServiceNow?
to choose a version, ma'am? I didn't get this part. So why is it necessary to choose Uta or the Tokyo or the San Diego means?
Because see, San Diego is the old version of ServiceNow instance. Then ServiceNow introduced some new features in Tokyo version, then some more new features in Otaha. So whichever version that you want to work on, do you want to work on the latest features? Because let's for example say, why do you choose iPhone 14 Pro Max? Why don't you choose iPhone 13,
Okay.
right? Again, because iPhone 13 is an old version, 14 is the latest version, 14 Pro Max has the latest features.
Okay.
So it's similar to that. So with every new ServiceNow version they introduce a lot of new features. So every company tries to be on the
So why with the
latest.
city's name? I
Sorry,
didn't get this.
why with the
So why uh, uh, तो बोल सकते हैं कि why did they wrote the city's name like Uta,
perfect.
Tokyo?
I love your question. I absolutely loved your question. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about. If you have 2 minutes of more time, we can talk about that right now. Or if you have any commitment, we can talk about that later as well.
जो
Okay.
भी है मैम तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि जस्ट अभी क्लियर हो.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm
So
loving
see,
this so as of now. So that's why
yeah,
I was a bit
absolutely.
keen to learn this.
Absolutely. I'm going to talk about this maybe in the next class, but I'm going to talk about why city names. So, like every product, every other product that you have in the market, just say iPhone, क्या करता है? iPhone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, Pro Max, iPhone, SA. That's how it introduces in the market, right? Now, ServiceNow did
Yes.
not wanted to use ServiceNow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They did not wanted to use these terminologies to release their new versions. They thought of a creative
Okay.
idea. They said,
Okay.
we want to
Now I
use
got it.
ABCD. They want to use ABCD, EFGHIJ. And now with A, they want to use every city name.
Okay.
Okay,
So
A
it's
say
Uta. That means they have gone till U.
yes, exactly. They
Okay.
started with A as an Aspen. A as an
Okay.
Aspen. B they started with, then B was Berlin, C as Calgary, D as Dublin, E as in
Okay.
Eureka, Fuji, Geneva. Okay, Helsinki,
Mhm.
Istanbul, Jakarta. So yeah, Kingston, London, Madrid, New York, Orlando, Paris, Quebec, RC, Rome, San Diego, Tokyo, and something which is coming in the pipeline is Vancouver and Washington. XYZ say what's
Okay.
going to come up. ServiceNow hasn't released that yet.
Okay, okay.
Okay. And ServiceNow follows a practice of releasing new versions every 6 months. Every 6 months, they introduce like a new version.
Okay, every 6 months.
And ma'am,
Yeah.
why they are giving us the options to choose the old versions too?
Yeah, because for example, see, this is the latest version which is not available, which is not used by companies right now, which is not used by the actual companies who are using ServiceNow instance. Okay. So for example, if you're already working on ServiceNow platform, you say that, hey, my platform right now that I'm working on is on San Diego. So if you request for Tokyo version, then you may not be able to reproduce, or you will not be able to perform your development activities for your practice in your personal instance. So they're still giving you offer that I have introduced N version. I am still giving you opportunity to go to N minus 2. Once they go to Vancouver, the next version is Vancouver. Once they go to Vancouver, they will remove San Diego from the list. They're going to ask you to choose either Ottawa or Tokyo.
I'm still the
Okay.
latest version has all those facilities which the
Yes,
old
that's
versions haven't. So
that's absolutely true.
if
Mhm.
you will choose the previous ones, so we won't be able to use some new features that are available.
Absolutely. As a
So
new
so
ServiceNow person, makes sense. But since I am already working
what's
in
so fun?
ServiceNow,
So
Anji,
what's so fun
what's
in choosing the old ones?
I'll tell you
Because
why.
we will lag behind some features.
Absolutely. That's absolutely true. For a new ServiceNow person coming in the platform makes total sense to use the latest version, which ServiceNow also recommends. That we have released a new version, please go ahead and use it. Okay?
Okay.
But the people who are already working on the ServiceNow platform, since I'm working on ServiceNow for last 9 years, but I know my client right now is on Tokyo version. They're not on San Diego. They've moved from San Diego to Tokyo. But if in case my client goes and tell me that, hey Pooja, I want this feature to be developed, can you please do it for me? Now I want to perform some sort of like a I want to perform, is it even feasible, what requirement or whether what the business need is? I don't want to do it in their development instance. I want to do my own set of research. So I'm going to go to Tokyo because Tokyo is the version which matches my client's instance. If I go to Taha, that feature may be available, but I may not be able to implement that feature in the client instance because that is not on Taha, that's in Tokyo. You get my point?
No, sorry.
Ma'am means
Acha, okay, let
if
me
we
do
are
this again.
if we are preparing an interface for the user if the user is using the Tokyo version, so we have to use the Tokyo version to build that interface so that he can use it.
Does this make sense? Acha, okay, let's do one more thing. Okay, again, um, trying to draw a parallel here. If in case that makes more sense, and then we can talk about in ServiceNow technology, ServiceNow world.
Let me say one thing. Just like if we have the latest version of WhatsApp, and
Hmm.
there are new stickers included in it, and if I will send the newest new the stickers from the latest version to Aditya, who is using the previous version, he won't be able to see those stickers.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And
Wow.
the message he will be watching on his screen will be, please update the newest to the newest version to see the specified message.
Yes.
And this is why you have to work in previous versions for your user. Am I correct?
You are absolutely right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So again, always remember, make sense. Again, it's not a race like yeah, iPhone 14 release हुआ है, so I need iPhone 14. ServiceNow को Taha release हुआ है, so I want to work on that instance only. No, that happens, but also companies also take a little time, right? They wouldn't really like a new version has been introduced in the market. Let's do it tomorrow. Let's move to the latest version now.
So
There's a
are we
lot of
bound to
effort.
follow the company's rules that if the company is working on the Tokyo version, we have to necessarily use the Tokyo version, or we
No,
can
no, no,
go
no,
to the
no.
other version
You
as
can
well?
go to Taha. You can go to the next version. You can go to the latest
Okay.
version. You
Okay.
absolutely can go to the latest version so that you can practice your own ServiceNow development activities. But in case you want to develop something for a client, but before you actually develop in the client environment, you want to do your own personal research. So you're going to do that in Tokyo because Tokyo is the instance where your client is also in. So that if you
Exactly.
perform certain, you will know. Utaha again, आपके पास तो latest features are available in that instance, right? But client is lagging behind. Client is still on Tokyo. So how will the client know कि Tokyo में तो this feature wasn't available? Something you can tell that, oh, in this, you know what, this latest version, this feature is coming out of the box by ServiceNow. This feature is introduced by ServiceNow. But they are going to say, hey, I want it right now. So what are you going to do? You're going to develop that feature in the same version as the client is in right now. And then you're going to say, okay, so you've practiced in your personal instance, PDI, and now you're offering the solution on the client environment.
Okay.
I am not in no way
So
I'm saying that.
everybody get that dummy version of
Yes.
the ServiceNow to practice, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So, okay.
So again, I would say always, of course, for your personal development, use the latest version. I'm going to join the waitlist. Okay. And they're going to email me once the instance is available. Okay. Likewise, please log in into this URL, join the waitlist, or at least some that we will get the instance max by tomorrow. Let's see.
Okay.
You will get an email so that you at least know, and then we can start working on the ServiceNow platform starting our next class from tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, makes sense.
So we'll be working on the ServiceNow platform from tomorrow. Okay,
Yes.
from the next class. Okay.
Yes, yes. This is how the interface is
This
going to
was
look
the
like.
introductory class. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. We have covered the now we have covered the background of ServiceNow, so you know what ServiceNow is. What's the
Yes.
history of ServiceNow? Now we are actually going to jump into the platform. This is how the first page is going to look like on your ServiceNow instance once you log in, once you get an access. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and we're going to talk about that starting tomorrow.
Okay.
So I would request, please request an instance today itself because you're going to be joining the waitlist and that instance might be released to you by tomorrow. Maybe it could be in an hour or so because everybody is actually trying to log into the personal instance that they're requesting it. The waitlist could be like really long. In my experience so far, I got like when I requested an instance, either I get it immediately or it could just be like in half a day.
Okay.
So yeah, the wait time is not like 1 month or like a week time. That's not the
I mean,
case.
if we'll get the instance and then we will be able to work on it any time we want to.
That's absolutely right. Yes.
Okay.
And what if we want to learn the Tokyo version first or the before the Tokyo version that कि
Go ahead.
उसमें क्या क्या चीजें थी जो कि ऊटा में थोड़ी सी एडवांस लेवल पे आई हैं so
Go
that
ahead,
कि
you may.
please pardon ma'am.
Go ahead, you may. You definitely may. But honestly, in my experience, I would say I haven't really. Have, but not major changes that I've witnessed from like a front end viewpoint. So you
Okay.
wouldn't see like Tokyo se Sandia or Tokyo se Tamina, you won't see like a major difference. Like, oh my God, this is something really different that I see right now. Because once you're you're fresh new into the instance, you will see everything is almost the same. What's the version that what's the difference that they've introduced? So for that reason, they have a site where they actually document the new features introduced in different versions.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to talk about that, but for now, I would request everybody to request the latest version. And if possible, if you have like another standby email ID as well, request the Tokyo version as well. Because the waitlist for TAM may be like really long, but while for Tokyo, you might just get an instance at the earliest.
Okay.
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 Cool.
Sure.
This is it for today. We are 20 minutes past our time. I'm extremely sorry if you had your personal commitments. I know it's already Saturday night for you.
So this is my
We are
personal
thankful
commitment.
for,
So
we are thankful for
I'm
to
up
you
for
have
it. So
given us your
it
time.
doesn't necessarily.
Ma'am, actually, can we request both the versions like
Yeah, you will
Utaha
need
and
parallelly. You may not be able to, but you can use two different email IDs, register yourself, and with one email ID you can request Tokyo other
Ma'am, one more
version.
question I have.
okay,
That
okay.
that I don't have my laptop currently with me. So can I operate from my sister's laptop, or
Yeah,
do
yeah.
I?